Okay, so here's a typical two-host VSA cluster. We've got two hosts. Each one of them, as you can see, has the VSA appliance. So the two of them know each other, and they also know each other through the VSA cluster service, which is acting as the pseudo third node. The reason I say pseudo is because it doesn't actually have any storage capacity, but it acts as a third node. Because like I said, this kind of works like RAID 5. And as you know, you have to have three nodes. So that if something fails, there's something else to work so that we can restore. Now, on any normal day, the virtual machines would be using files that were local. In other words, they'd be using their own local files. The virtual machines would exist because they can get to their own local files there on their own local data store. And their own local data stores, remember, those are 5, 6, or 1 plus 0 as well. So they're redundant. So we wouldn't expect that we would have any kind of a catastrophic failure there. But let's say that we did. Well, if we did in regards to disk, we still have a copy of that virtual machine data that's on the replica copy. And the cluster service could assist the virtual machine in getting that data. So that's what would happen if we had a disk failure. What if we had a complete host failure? Because that's the idea, right? We're setting up something so that we could use things like HA. So if the host fails, then the virtual machines are going to be restarted on the other host that's in the cluster. So now the system is going to say, okay, well, bad news is the host failed. The good news is I have volume 1 replica information that these virtual machines can use. So therefore, the virtual machines will have what they need in order to get restarted on the other host. So in either case, the reason that it's working is because we've got something backing up something else. In other words, we've got a copy of the data store, right, on the replica data store, and we've got two hosts, and in this case, you could have three hosts, but in this case we've got two hosts in the VSA cluster service. You say, well, that's the way it always works. Well, in one way it is, and another way it isn't. Because vSAN works in an entirely different way. And we'll discuss how vSAN works next.